Hello, friends. I'm Jonathan Pishner with Apex Counseling. And today I had to come to you with a topic that I end up discussing in therapy more than people would realize, which is how to make friends when you're no longer in school, whether high school, college, etc. And the first few times I talked about this, one of the things I started realizing is there are a lot of people who continue to hang out with the people they met in school, and that's their friend group forever, which works for a fair number of people. Matter of fact, I still hang out with my college friends a lot. However, there are times where that no longer works. Sometimes you simply move too far away and they can no longer be your friend group. Sometimes I don't know, you somehow outgrow your old friends, like, you can't keep them in their life and in your life anymore because they're either toxic or in some other way they're just not the right fit anymore. And then what do you do? And I realized that there's a lot of adults who don't know how to solve this problem. And happily, I get to cheat because since we ended up working on this in the therapy room, I actually have a system that works reasonably well for a lot of adults to solve this problem. So I wanted to bring it to you today because I think there's a lot of people out there that would get value out of it. So, one of the things we started figuring out when I would work with this with my clients is that there is actually a really useful shortcut for making friends as an adult. And really, all it is replicating how you did it in school. Just you have to know how to replicate and what to do. So let's revisit school for a minute. One of the things that you did in school is you connected with people over commonalities, and you didn't have to work that hard at doing it, because let's say you're in chemistry class in high school and the teacher's terrible and nobody likes the teacher. I'm not going to put anybody on blast from any of my old past, so we'll go with Smith. The name will be Mr. Smith. Uh, and let's say you're in class, nobody likes this teacher, and as you do, people just like bellyache a little bit. Oh, I can't believe he's such a jerk. Well, somebody else might chime in, yeah, can you believe he did this? So, like, okay, we have two people connecting over a commonality. That is the easy part. Now, what happens as people connect over a single commonality is they'll find a second. Oh my God, I spent so much time on this homework that I didn't even get to watch the football game. Oh man, me neither. Now, two people have connected over a second commonality. Now we both don't like Mr. Smith, the chemistry teacher, and we know we both like football. If you take this single idea and just play it out further and further, this is actually how we make friends. You start with a single common contact point, and then over the course of time, you find the people where you have 3, 4, 7, 14 different commonalities. And the more you have in common, the more likely you are to become friends, the more likely you are to want to hang out with these people. That's it. The job is just knowing how to replicate it, because sometimes who we are as a person, it's difficult to figure out, okay, how am I going to connect with the people that are like me? Now, the internet certainly helped an awful lot, because now, no matter what you're into, you can go and solve this problem to a certain extent. But the reality is we need in-person relationships too. You can get away with a lot online, but we really do also just need in-person friends, because we're probably biologically wired for that. Someday, probably some study will prove that, but that's long been my suspicion, is we probably need a fair bit of in-person interaction as well. Now, to do this when you no longer are forced into a room with 30 other people your age, you actually have to seek it out. And so, all you do to give yourself a pretty decent chance of success is you figure out, what's a thing I like, and then you figure out where are the people who enjoy that thing, and you go there. This can be a class. Oftentimes it is a class, honestly, whether that's, some class in a skill or an art or anything. But there's other ways too. But you figure out where are the people. So if you're into sports, whether watching or playing, because those are two different things sometimes. But if you're into playing sports, all right, where are the intramural leagues? Where are the middle-aged dad sports leagues? And you would go sign up. And then I'm just going to make up a sport. Let's say you end up on a baseball or softball league. So you got a team of 9 to 15 other people. Within that, you're going to find one or two that you share more than just the sport with. And so then you start to spend a little more time with those people. And then, well, you have some stuff in common with them. Then generally they'll introduce you to one or two more people that are similar to both of you. The first step is really the tough part, because a lot of people don't realize that you can find the people who are like you if you just know how to do it. So let's take it off sports for a minute and put it on something else. Let's put it on one of the arts. How many people have met lifelong friends through a pottery class, a yoga class? All they did was they went to where people were that they were like, okay, I might be able to connect with these people. There's a group of 10 to 30 of them. And over the course of time, they realized, oh, several people in this room I share numerous things in common with. That's actually it. Now, I'm going to give an example of one that's a little tougher, because some people, it's a little harder to design this around, because those two are nice, obvious ones. But let's imagine someone who's a little more introverted, a little more shy, a little, it just really does not have as easy a time putting themselves out there. You still actually do the same thing. You just have to be more careful and conscientious about how it's structured. So let's say I'm not really into any of these physical pursuits and I don't like doing stuff with my hands. What do I do? So, well, okay. Do you like reading? This is a pretty common one. Then you can't just go to the library and strike up a conversation, because number one, that's kind of against what shy people do. And number two, people ain't at the library to have a conversation. But libraries have book clubs. I wonder if a person watching this is like a little introverted. Could they go to a book club like, oh, we're going to read this and we're going to talk about it? Because number one, it's way more structured. You go around the circle and somebody shares a thought or an idea. So you have an actual turn to take. And over the course of time, the same thing happens. You got your book club of 6 or 8 people, and you realize, oh, this person I have an extra commonality with, and you might talk to them a little bit after the thing and find out, is that something else we can connect over? And then you start deepening it a little bit, and eventually maybe you go hang out outside a book club. But it's literally just all we did in school. People just a lot of times don't realize that you have to really be intentional about replicating it outside of school. This is why a lot of people become friends with their coworkers, because it's the same thing. The reason I selected the example of, oh, we don't like this teacher. This happens at work because, now Mr. Smith is the supervisor instead of the teacher, and he's got a team of 6 people. Well, if he's a bad supervisor, we can all connect over, we don't like Mr. Smith, the supervisor. And then over the course of time, talking, belly aching about that as you do, then you start realizing, oh, this person has this thing too. I wonder if we can connect over that. Just to share a singular story, but I mean, many people have these. Like, I got into my present Dungeons and Dragons group because of connecting with somebody over martial arts. Like, I was teaching a class, they came to take the class, and then we started talking about other nerd stuff, and Dungeons and Dragons came up. Hey, do you want to come play with us? Yeah, of course, I'd love to come play. And then I met one of my best lifelong friends, and then a second one of my best lifelong friends. And so, like, the whole thing works. It's just the trickiest part is that first step. How do you get to the people you can connect with? How do you sort through the 8 billion of them that there are? That's how you do it, is you pick one thing about you where you can find other people who share that one thing. Mathematically, there will be other people with a large enough sample size that you share more than one thing with. So hopefully this is helpful for somebody out there today. Belonging is a desperately important thing. It's on every list of human psychological needs, no matter which one you ascribe to. And I find myself helping people with this a lot once they're outside of school and they've lost a friend group. So I hope this was valuable to you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. I'm Jonathan Pishner with Apex Counseling, and I will see you next time.